Welcome back to G Fun Facts Online, the show that unpacks the hidden mechanics of our world. Today, we're diving into a topic that sounds like it belongs in a high-level math class, but is actually the secret playbook for all of modern politics: game theory. Forget abstract equations. This is about understanding the strategic chess match behind everything from your vote to global climate treaties. So, what is this powerful tool? At its heart, game theory is the study of strategic decision-making. Imagine a game with players, strategies, and payoffs. In the world of governance, the players aren't just people in a room. They're political parties, government agencies, interest groups, and even you, the voter. The strategies are the actions they can take, and the payoffs are the results: political power, economic gain, or a better society. First cooked up by geniuses John von Neumann and Oscar Morgenstern back in 1944, this framework allows policymakers to look into the future and predict how different groups will react to a new law or policy. It's essential for navigating the complex web of conflicting interests in areas like healthcare reform or environmental protection. Let's get specific and look at the democratic process. Take voting. Have you ever considered not voting for your absolute favorite candidate because you were afraid they couldn't win, and you really wanted to stop your least favorite candidate from getting into office? That's called strategic voting, and it's a classic game theory move. In systems like first past the post, where only the top candidate wins, voting for a minor party can feel like wasting your vote. Game theory helps us understand these dilemmas and even design better systems, like ranked choice voting, to get a clearer picture of what people actually want. Now let's go inside the halls of power. Making laws isn't just about passionate speeches. It's a complex game of bargaining and coalition building. Lawmakers constantly weigh the payoffs of their actions against the likely moves of their opponents. This often leads to a state called the Nash equilibrium, a fancy term for a stable compromise where no one can improve their situation by changing their strategy alone. It's why politics is so often the art of the deal. In parliamentary systems, this gets even more interesting, as parties form coalitions, divvying up power and cabinet positions like prize money. It's a strategic dance where every move is calculated. But game theory isn't just about analyzing the game, it's about changing the rules to get better outcomes. This is where incentive-compatible policy design comes in. The goal is to create systems where doing what's best for you is also what's best for everyone. A perfect example is a carbon tax. It creates a financial incentive for companies to pollute less, aligning their self-interest with the collective good of a cleaner planet. This same thinking helps us tackle some of the world's biggest collective action problems. Think of climate change. It's a version of the prisoner's dilemma, where each country is tempted to let others do the hard work of cutting emissions. Game theory helps design international agreements with enforcement mechanisms that change the payoffs, making cooperation the smarter choice. The COVID-19 pandemic was another brutal lesson in collective action, as nations balanced economic pain against the shared benefit of stopping a virus. Of course, humans aren't perfectly rational robots. This is where behavioral game theory steps in, blending psychology with strategy. It recognizes that our decisions are swayed by emotions, fairness, and trust. Lab experiments show that people will often reject an unfair deal, even if it means they get nothing, just to punish greed. Understanding these human factors is critical for creating policies that actually work in the real world. Now, we have to be honest about the limitations. Game theory models often assume everyone has perfect information and is perfectly rational, which, in the messy world of politics, isn't always the case. Human motivations like loyalty, empathy, and duty can defy simple models. But even with these limitations, game theory is an invaluable tool. It's not a crystal ball, but it gives us a language and a framework to think more clearly about the strategic forces shaping our lives. As we face an ever more complex and interconnected future, understanding the game is the first step toward building a fairer, more prosperous world for everyone. That's all for this episode of Fun Facts Online. Thanks for tuning in.